JUCO is a fresh start. It's an opportunity. It's a door opener, right? I like to use Marshall. Marshall is a guy that I played with, right? He came to high school. He came to America. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say 10th grade, right? Went to a public high school, but this kid is talented. I mean, it's a world. We can tell. I mean, he scored 36 goals. I think my second year, he scored 36 goals in like 16 or 18 games, right? If he grew up in America, definitely wouldn't have come to a community college. But because it just came from Jamaica, he didn't have the opportunity. Guess what? He's played with us at a community college. And now he's got a fresh start. And then went from there, got a scholarship to a D1 and played at Towson. I'm sorry, is that Towson or UMBC? I think it's UMBC for 2 years. And then he actually got drafted by Kansas City Wizards back in the days into MLS. So if he didn't have that JUCO starting period, those chances wouldn't be there. Yeah. So you can come to a JUCO, you can start at a JUCO college for almost free or very, very little. You get opportunities to still play and showcase yourself. And if you develop, a good coach will always look out for you. In as far as 2 years, you can only play 2 years, and you can play 4 years of college. So a good coach will try to find a good place for you to go after that 2 years.
No, I mean, you just brought up something. So how should a young player, assess a good coach?
For a player, I think it's tough, right? One of the things that I'm going to say this, and I'm not trying to be mean. I've been around soccer for a very, very long time, especially in the DMV, right? I left PG in 2000, right? So, and I've been a director of coaching for South Carolina Soccer Club, right? We started our own club in Clinton. I've coached several clubs, locally in the area. My kids have played for at least 4 or 5 different clubs. And for a young kid trying to assess a coach, you got to find a coach that is genuine and doesn't lie. And there's a lot of politics and lies in soccer, So it's really, really tough. You just got to look for a coach, I would say, that has your best interest. But how do you find that? It's tough.
Right.
It's tough.
So do you think parents would be better at making that assessment than the kids?
I think so. I think it depends. As a parent and adult, you have experience in reading people, right? Mm-hmm. And kids are so excited about the game that they don't think about the overall aspect. Most kids don't have the experience that we have as an adult. Mm-hmm. Right? I give an example. Last year, so I have 2 kids I play, right? I have a 12-year-old who just turned 12, and I have a 15-year-old. 2 years ago, when I knew it was time for my youngest son to leave a club to go to another club, he didn't want to go because all his friends were at that old club. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, my friends are here. I'm like, okay, if you really want to get better, it's not about your friends. This is where you need to be. Reluctantly, he didn't want to go, but now he's loving it because now he make new friends. So that's why I say it's kind of difficult for kids to make that decision. But as an adult, I knew that club wasn't going to help him. It wasn't going to get better.
Yeah. So what about the parents? Because you had that experience knowing, because you played soccer your entire life. What about our parents that don't know anything about soccer? So what criteria can those parents find in a coach to assess them for their kids?
Honesty. If you find anything that anybody tells you, try to verify. Right? Trust, but verify. Right? So you have some clubs locally that will say to tell you, oh, we are the best. We're nationally ranked number 5 and blah, 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 blah. What league? What division? I had a coach. We had a parents meeting, in his meeting, and he says, oh yeah, we are the toughest. I think he said we are number 5 ranked in the nation. And I sat back like, What league? What team? Oh yeah, we put, a coach would tell you, yeah, we put 25 kids, we send 25 kids to college every year. We send 30 kids to college. Verify as a parent. What? Give me some names. Internet is there, and those kids, are they going to soccer? Are they going to college on a soccer scholarship or academic scholarship? Verify. You can find anybody now. If I want to look up Mike, I can look up Mike, go to your social media, find out 2 or 3 people that we might have in common that you don't know that I know. I can call them and say, hey, James, Mike said this. Is it true? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Parents, don't be lazy. Let me say that. Parents cannot be lazy.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you open up so much, but like there's so much. So I mean, I think where we can start here is for a parent, so you said, you hit a point where you realized that your son needed to move to another club to continue his development.
Yeah.
What was it that the current club, the older club, was not providing? And then what was, from your assessment, was he going to get in the new environment that he needed?
So the number one thing in developing young players, and I have an unfair advantage as a parent because I've played the game and I've coached the game and I've ran a club, right? So it's an unfair advantage that I have compared to most soccer parents.
Yeah.
And number one thing for me, and I'm going to say this publicly, if you want to develop a good young athlete, a good soccer player, they have to be challenged, right? As a parent, don't get comfortable with your kid being the best player on a team and he's the superstar and he's not being challenged. I've seen parents where they say, oh, yeah, we're winning games, we're scoring goals, and he's scoring goals, and he's the best player. And then if he's the best player, why is he still playing on that team, right? So I have a 15-year-old who's 15, 06 birth year, who's playing U17 at DC United Academy, and also playing at Loudoun United, USL team, right? So technically, he's supposed to be playing U16, sorry. He's supposed to be playing U16. But now he's not only playing up, he's actually playing with pros and professional.
Yeah.
I have a 2010 who's playing 09 at Baltimore Armor, who played 08 somewhere else last year. And now he just finished trying out with DC's U15. Does that make sense? Meaning there's a challenge. So the moment as a club, you have to look out for these kids. And if the clubs are not looking out for the kids, the parents have to. I never let my kids, any one of my 2 kids, get comfortable where they become the superstar on their team for too long. Once you become the superstar on your team, it's time for you to move up, either an age up, right? If you're a 10-year-old superstar and you're killing everybody, you're dribbling everybody, you got to be playing U11 or U12. So now you are challenged. So that's the number one thing that I see. In my opinion, if I have to write a book about development today, challenge is it. Because we get comfortable as human beings. Yeah. And kids get comfortable because they're kids, they want to have fun. So that's the key thing that I think in development.
So are you saying on today's podcast that it's not about winning? Are you really saying that?
Winning, if you're a coach, yes, it's about winning. I've been a coach. I've been on the hot seat. As a parent, it's about development for your kid. Either your kid has an aspiration to go to college and play D1 soccer, or go pro, or just have fun. You still got to develop.
Yeah.
Right? I wish Alex was here. Alex would tell you when he was at Maryland United coaching my older son, Mikael, my younger son, they didn't win. And I never complained because I knew what he was doing. When he was telling them dribble. There were a couple parents that were like, oh my God, we lost today 6-0, 5-0. But I see the development. You know what I'm saying? And it's not because I like Alex. I'm just saying that was my first time ever meeting him.
Yeah.
When he was coaching my son, but I could see that, okay, he's teaching this kid the right thing,
Yeah.
So winning is a bypass of development.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, this is so tricky because James is laughing, right? Because we talk about this, all the time, right? So here's the issue, right? So you said, if I sarcastically asked, are you saying, it's not about winning, right? You said, yeah, if you're a coach, that's what it is. But if you're a parent, it should be about development, right? But like you said, you mentioned Alex and Jason, we have this community of young coaches and programs that is actually the reverse.
Sorry, 1 second. Let me correct myself. When I say you're a coach, I don't mean at a young level. What I meant was if like your college coach, a pro coach, high level. Yes, it's about winning. So let me correct myself. If you coaching MLS, EPL, La Liga, college coach, D1, D2, D3, if you're a coach at that level, it's about winning for you. You got to win to keep your job.
Yeah, that's even good because that you clarified it. It's even
yeah. But at a younger age, right? It's not necessarily about winning as a coach. Yeah, developing kids, yes. So let me correct myself.
Yeah, no, I got you. Okay, so but here's the issue, right? The issue is this. If let's say there's the three of us here, right? And we're three coaches, three different clubs. And you're about winning, right? And so your 2011 team, the U11 team, everybody on there are born in 2011.
Yeah.
And they're born in January, February, March. So they're the biggest, strongest, etc. And the whole game plan is just kick the ball up to the fastest guy and let him, score. Then James and myself are about development. Actually, I'll say James is about development, but I'm about winning too. Right? So me and you, we're crushing. Right? We got our team stacked. We're bringing all so we're not challenging our kids in a way. We're stacking the teams. So, we're winning 10-0, like the same thing you said was happening to you guys. Okay. What do you think happens to James and his club next year? If the parents are not you?
They will leave and come to us.
Yeah.
They will leave and come to us. I see it all the time.
Yeah. So this is the issue, right? So this is one of the unspoken issues with development here, right? This is something frankly, at DC11, this is something we deal with all the time, is that our focus is development.
Yeah.
But it's difficult in the climate because it's hard. Like when you're a parent and you're viewing, even if you view the game, you're not necessarily, even if you know football, you're not necessarily going to know, James' team, everybody on that team are the same year, 2011, and they're all born in the first 3 months. So that's why they're bigger, stronger, faster, or whatever it is. And they're just kicking the ball up and, making 1 or 2 passes and scoring, right? There's no thing. But they won't know that Taiye team has, a mixture of kids, and he is, putting those kids in different roles and different positions, and they're working on their weak foot and all this stuff, and they're taking the L's, right? So it's kind of hard. Like and frankly, I'm bringing this up because I'm trying to find a way from you as a parent, but maybe this doesn't work because you have the background and the knowledge and understanding, so you see that automatically. But if you knew of a way, like how do we communicate this to the parents who don't have this background, right? This background understanding.
For what I've done in the past, when I was at South Carolina Soccer Club, right? I was the technical director. It was a small club, but we played in NCSL and we also played in rec league. I was also a coach of the U10 team, right? And my son happened to be on that team at that time, but he was the youngest there. And of course, some of these parents, especially our Latino parents, a lot of time they're so focused on winning that they don't see the growth, right? So I think my second year there, and now we did like we had a meeting at the beginning of the season, because I got frustrated with some parents just yelling from the sideline, at their kids. So first of all, I had that meeting about, listen, when soon as your son comes to me during the game, I'm the only voice. Yeah. No other voice from the sideline, So we had the meeting about that. Then I announced that, listen, let's have this exercise. How many times can your kid juggle right now? Now, some of this parents, this is their second year with me, right? So can they juggle now? How many times can they juggle, right? Can they dribble, one-on-one? How comfortable are they? So by the end of the season, let's see how strong they've become, how much better they've got with those things. So I know they're going to hold me to it. So one of the things we do when we get to practice, when we just kind of, before practice officially kicks off, all right, don't just stay there and just kick the ball in at the goal, just juggle, right? Even if you can't juggle, just hold the ball up and, do your little thing and then get better. So that way, the parents can see something that visually they can see, right? Now, at the beginning of the season in August or whatever the season starts, the first game, see how there's no structure, no organization, no positioning, your center back and all those things. And then hopefully by the end of that season, by the end of that fall, before you go for Christmas break, the parents can see, okay, my kid actually know what center back is. What do I do as a center back? When the goalie has the ball, how do I go wide? And so those kind of things, again, some parents will never see it. It's true, right? There's always exception to every rule. But if you bring the parents along, some of them are reasonable enough and see that development. It's okay. Oh yeah, I've seen the growth in my child. And one of the things I used to do back then also is also give them an assignment, because a lot of these kids, they love the game because it's good fun for them. But when they go home, they don't watch the game. So one of the assignments I always give them is, okay, pick a game, whatever, and watch it. And watch it with your mom or dad. Because a lot of Americans don't watch soccer games. Now they do, but back then, 5-6 years ago, they don't. But a child can pick up one or two things from playing FIFA or actually watching the game. Yeah. So now they understand what we're trying to do.
Yeah. I mean, that's good. That's good. That is what we all do. But again, like JC likes to say, is you could seem like you're telling a lie in the world. I mean, even if you're telling the truth, it can seem like a lie in a world full of lies. You know what I mean? Like, so that's the Jason quote. What I want to ask is, you have two ballers, and what was the process like? Raising them, especially even before they got into the game fully. Was it done intentionally? Did you, what strategies did you use? What things did you surround them with? How did you cultivate the environment that helped them grow as footballers?
So both of my kids are different. Matai, the older one, he's always been with me. I guess it's because it's the first child, right? So when I had him, I was still playing. I was still playing in NSL, Nigerian Soccer League. I was still playing over 30 leagues, leagues locally. But I always take him, even indoor, like winter, we would play at a Soccerplex, Soccer Dome, Soccerplex, all those areas. I used to take him with me. So he's that kid that was just quiet, would sit on the bench when daddy's playing, and halftime, he gets on the field and kick the ball around and all those things. So he developed interest very, very early. And I was fortunate enough to meet Justin Reed on one of those games. I don't know if Justin Reed owns Quick Feet.
Yeah. Justin's
Yeah.
part of the crew.
So I was fortunate enough to meet him. And when he started Quick Feet, Matai was 18 months old when he took his first clinic with Justin. Right? That's how he started. So, and then every Saturday we'll go to Quick Feet, we call it his game. We'll go to his game, and after his game, we go to McDonald's. So, McDonald's Happy Meal. So every Saturday, he's like, "Is it Saturday yet? Is it Saturday? My game." So now you got this 3-4-year-old that's looking forward to his game.
Yeah.
After his game, he knows he's going to get a Happy Meal, and then we go home and continue watching soccer games. So, so he fell in love with the game. Like, he's a kid that never really liked anything else but soccer, right?
Nice.
Put a toy car, nah, don't care. So him was always Drogba. I mean, only God knows how many Drogba jerseys I bought when he was little. Everything was all Drogba. At 6 years old, he went to school, career day. What do you want to be? I want to be a professional too, but I want to be the next Drogba. So for him, it was just natural. I think it was natural because he spent so much time with me as the first child.
Yeah.
And he's 15 now, still living the dream. He's been to Bayern Munich for training. He's playing with Loudon now. He's playing for DC. So it's just the progress. Now it got to a point where it became, okay, this kid really loved the game, but can he really play this game as a pro? To be honest with you, I didn't really take him serious. And I know it doesn't want to hear this, but I didn't really take him serious till he was like 14. My thing is get the best out of it and go to college. I mean, the jury is still out. He hasn't signed a pro contract yet, but he's on the path, But when it was 14, it was like, okay, I think this kid really got something.
Yeah.
And because he watched so much game, I think his soccer IQ is way better than almost anybody his age.
Nice. Before you go on, what at 14 occurred or that you noticed that made you say this kid has something?
So one day we were sitting down and we were talking. It was just, I think it was Mikhail's birthday. And we were talking about soccer and life and what you want to do, and stuff like that. And it was like, okay, what brought the conversation was college, right? What school do you like? And blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, Dad, can I say something? I'm like, yeah. Do I have to go to college? Your mom would like you to. Me, depends on what you want to do. What do you want to do? I told you, I really want to play pro. I'm serious, right? And that time it was during the regional call-up. I was on the regional call-up for the U.S. national team. And it was just balling. So it just clicked in my head, like, you know what? You might have what it takes. Because the mentality, like I get, is soccer IQ. It's you got to sit down with this kid and talk to him about soccer and break a game down, and you can see that his soccer IQ is not normal. Yes, it's a left footer. He's tall, he's fast, he's strong, but his IQ is just not normal. So if you have that kind of knowledge, you know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
Right? He doesn't watch anything else but soccer related. Matt Sheldon videos, all those things. He introduced me to them. Like, I didn't know who Matt Sheldon was. I don't know if you know Matt Sheldon, the YouTube guy. Yeah. So it's just like, hey, if you're gonna pour this energy and time into it, then let's go all out. And that's when I started making phone calls, and we were able to get him a try at Bayern and some other stuff. And I'm like, okay, you know what? We're in it right now. Let's just go all out.
Yeah. Nice. No, that's good. And what about your younger one?
So the short answer is the mentality. His mentality was what made me say, yeah, this kid is ready for it. The younger one, he's just a regular kid, man. He did everything. He did, like how my oldest son was just narrow-minded about soccer and sports. I mean, my older one played basketball for fun, but soccer was his thing. But the younger one, he did everything. He did basketball, blade, whatever you name it. And sometimes I felt like he was playing soccer because his older brother plays soccer and daddy plays soccer.
Yeah.
Now he's starting to love it. Yeah. So now he's like, okay, I want to say I'm not your typical African in the sense that I'm not going to force you to do what you don't want to do. for whatever you do, just be good at it, right? Or at least do it well. So now it's now kind of coming in. It's just turned 12. So at age 10, it's now like, okay, maybe I'll take this soccer thing serious. You know, like I say, when I say let's move from this club to that club, it's like, nah, my friends are here. And I'm like, no, it's just where you need to be.
Yeah.
You know.